What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market, and talk about some very important levels to watch for. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, and you're guaranteed 15. And the offer ends very soon, in just a couple of weeks. Anyways, for the market, I just wanted to mention that we saw some interesting volatility today. The market saw this nice little pump all the way up to about the 554 area, just under 555. Then we saw SPY dip right back down. And since then, we've been stuck within this range. So now we've transitioned to a new phase where the market's just completely range bound. If you look at the 30 minutes time frame, it was a little bit of a pump and dump that we saw today. And now we're just completely trading sideways. For the past 2 hours, we've been stuck between the 551 area and about 552.5, going back and forth with just one exception. So we're pretty much just stuck. We're just going back and forth. That's all I'm anticipating for now. But it is worth noting that if SPY does end up dipping below 550, there will be a dump coming all the way down to at least 548 if we fail to hold 550. And if we manage to hold above 552, we could be looking for a pushback up towards the highs up here towards 553.43. But otherwise, we're just range bound. There's not really much that's going on, and we just have to be very patient. I also want to call out one more thing. Tomorrow is going to be Thursday, September 5th, 2024. And at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the ISM Services PMI, employment and new orders data coming out. So this is going to cause a big move in the markets. The services sector is very huge, so look for high volatility tomorrow at 10 a.m. Until then, I don't expect too much. Maybe during the last hour of the day, there might be some interesting volatility. I am kind of thinking that there's a possibility that we might see a dip coming as we're making lower highs technically, but I can't guarantee it yet as we just remain very, very choppy for now. So we'll have to see how it ends up going. But for now, we'll be watching to see if 550 holds. If not, we're looking for 548. So we'll be watching this very, very carefully. Nvda is starting to turn down, so we pumped to about this 110 area. I said if we broke this, we're looking for a push to the higher levels. Instead, we didn't break past 110. We're just right back down. We've been chopping around this 107 area. This is where we had the support. If that fails us, we're looking for 104, but we're just completely range bound on the 4-hour time frame. If we go back to like the 30 minutes time frame, you guys can see this is what Nvidia looks like. We look like we could be dipping a little bit if we don't hold the 107s. So I'll be watching to see if that ends up being the case. A little bit of weakness is building, so watch that very carefully. Bitcoin pumped all the way up towards this 58,500 area only to dip back down. I have a feeling it might dip close to about 57,400 for a small dip. We'll watch and see if that ends up being the case. For others out there like ES, we pushed all the way up towards 55.60 or a little bit under that, 55.65. Then we came back down. We're looking at resistance down at 55.33. If we could break and hold above that, we're looking for a retest of 55.44. If we don't break through this, we're going to be likely dipping back down towards 55.20. So it's going to be your tight levels. It's still kind of like choppy, so give it some time. As far as Tesla goes, we called out 222. That's the level I called out. That's exactly where Tesla ran to. Now it's trying to slow down a little bit. So we're looking at this range. Can we hold 220? If it doesn't hold 220, we could return closer to about the 217s. If we break 222, we could remain bullish. So we'll be watching to see if 220 breaks or not. So give this some time. For the QQQ, we're dipping, we're making lower highs right now. If we end up losing the 460 area, we're looking for a dip back down towards 458. So 460 is going to be our main support right now. We have resistance at 461.5, so watch that range. We are looking a little bit weaker, so just be careful with that. Aapl dips to about 218 only to rebound back up to about 221. This imbalance does open the possibility that if we break 221, we're looking for 222. And then if we end up losing 220.5, I could be looking for a dip back down closer to the 218 area. So you want to be very careful, watch your levels very, very carefully. On the IW, we got a nice bounce to the 216 zone. We came just short of 216 at my target before coming back down. Watch 212. We got to hold 212 or else this thing is going to be dumping all the way down to 208, which is where the gap happened to be. So watch and see if 212 holds. For Coinbase, we pumped all the way up towards 160 to only to dip back down. We're going to be looking for basically 161. We'll see if that holds. It could be making a nice move back down. Amazon had a range between 175 and 178. We lost 175, so our target's going to be down to the 172 area. And if that does not hold, we're looking for basically 170. Then our gap fell back down to 169. So be careful with Amazon. There's some downside potential. Meta's holding up a lot better. If we hold above 512, we could continue to consolidate. If we lose 512, look for a dip back down towards like 506 or so. And we have resistance at 518. We might be dipping lower to about 512. So give it some time. For Microsoft, we're just trading sideways between 408 and 410. If we lose 408, we could be dipping back down to about 406 or below. There is potential for us to dip looking at the fact that we're making lower highs right here. So it might dip a little bit lower, but otherwise, it's just kind of range bound for now. Google's looking a little bit more bearish of all things because we're about to retest our lows. I could be looking for a retest of the 156s, and if that fails us, we'll look for a bigger dip. So just be mindful of that. With that being said, guys, we'll see if the market holds key supports. We'll see if we get this rejection. We have a very important range that's still developing in the markets, but we'll see if we hold or not. If we don't hold, get ready for more potential downside. I want everyone to be very open-minded for that. And with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours, and peace out.